city of the 80s, you know what I mean? So I tell people, if you ever watch New Jack City,
Mm.
like I watched New Jack City so many times. And so I watched it so much that it's certain details that I noticed in the movie. And one of the things that I remember noticing when I was a kid was when Ice-T was chasing this guy and he ran through a playground and it was all these little caps on the ground. And it was just the drugs. And I remember my elementary school, it was the same way. You would see all these little drug caps on the ground.
Wow.
So watching New Jack City is kind of like identifying kind of how Philly was. We went from watching regular working people work every single day and have productive lives and be great parents to being drug addicts on the street and having nothing.
Mm.
So we like literally, I watched that happen to people, and it was crazy to know that I watched it, and it happened in my own family too. I was pretty much a product of situations like that. So.
The joy of children laughing around you. These are the makings of you. It is true, the makings of you.
What's up, good people? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It's your host, Mr. D713 with Everythang Culture. And we're back with another Makings of You. And tonight, this morning, this afternoon, whenever you're listening, we have Wolf with us tonight. What's happening, Wolf? How you doing?
Hey.
Man, thank you
I'm
for
excited.
joining us.
I'm excited.
You're excited. We're excited.
I'm nervous too.
Oh, don't be nervous now. Don't be nervous.
I know. All right, go ahead.
Hey, Wolf is a big noise talker on TikTok. I would say that. Hey, and we appreciate it. We could get to know her a little bit better. You know how we do on this. This is a deep dive on her. We're going to learn a little bit more her background, her upbringing, childhood, her points of view on life. And then she's going to join us again in the future for another episode. But not going to hold y'all any longer. Let's get to the makings of Wolf. Wolf, first question. Who are you?
Ooh, okay. That's a it's so simple, but it's so hard.
Oh.
Who am I? I am a very loyal person. I am a very passionate person. I am probably one of the most I'm very empathetic. I am outgoing. I'm a mom. I'm a sailor. But well, I don't want to say I'm a sailor. That's what I do, and I barely. No, but yeah, who I am, I'm just an all around good person. I'm one of the probably the how would you say, like a loyal person that you would have in your life. You know what I'm saying? I'm dependable, which sometimes can be a bad thing, but yeah, that's who I am.
Love it, love it. How would you describe your culture?
Well, I would say in the past couple of years, I kind of realized that I didn't have much culture far as like outside of the Black American experience. You know what I mean? We do kind of discount that. So I would say my culture is basically the Black American culture. I'm from Philly, so I wouldn't say it's the Southern culture, but the Black American culture. I have a little bit of like Caribbean culture because my dad is Jamaican, but it's a lot of his culture I didn't get because for some reason a lot of people who came from the islands back in the day, they didn't instill it much in their kids because they was trying to get away from it. So yeah.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. How would you describe yourself?
In like what way? Like in reference to what?
Like if someone have never seen you, met you, if I had to tell someone about Wolf, how would you describe yourself? How would you want me to describe you? I'm gonna have to switch that question around.
Oh, okay. So how would I want somebody to describe me? I don't want people to describe me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, because everybody's experience with somebody is their own. So I don't want anybody to describe me to anybody.
Okay.
Like, oh, she's nice. She's a nice girl. She's funny. No, but just let your experience with me be your own. You know.
Love it. Love it. Love it. What do you identify as?
You mean my background, like black or something?
Open ended. However you want to.
I identify as a woman. I'm a female, a woman. I am. I'm African American, black, however you want to say. I don't really have no offense to that. A lot of people are trying to veer off from African American. I don't have a problem with it.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Where are you from?
I'm from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
I heard you say what I heard you mention it a second ago. Just had to make sure that if that's what you represent still.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm from Philly. I left Philly at 17 to go to college, and then I went back, and then I left again at 21. But I'm from Philly.
Okay. Once again, these are open-ended questions. If you ever feel like you want to skip a question, you're fine. I'm from the South, so I always say this question I struggle with because this is against my culture and my morals, but I have to ask because I have it down
I
here.
don't mind at all.
How old are you?
I'm 40.
40, okay.
I just turned 40 in December. Yeah.
Oh,
I just got into the 40
club. Is it Capricorn?
Well, I am like on the cusp of Capricorn and Sagittarius.
Dang.
But I have characteristics of both, but I am more of a Sagittarius, to be honest.
Okay. I should have known that.
Yeah.
All right. How would you define your childhood and upbringing?
My childhood and upbringing, it was complicated.
Mm-hmm.
It was extremely complicated. It was it was a toxic environment because of what we was able to be around.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, I'm 40, so I grew up and I seen a lot from the city of the 80s. You know what I mean? So I tell people, if you ever watch New Jack City, like I watched New Jack City so many times. And so I watched it so much that it's certain details that I noticed in the movie. And one of the things that I remember noticing when I was a kid was when Ice-T was chasing this guy and he ran through a playground and it was all these little caps on the ground. And it was just the drugs. And I remember my elementary school, it was the same way. You would see all these little drug caps on the ground.
Wow.
So watching New Jack City is kind of like identifying kind of how Philly was. We went from watching regular working people work every single day and have productive lives and be great parents to being drug addicts on the street and having nothing. So we like literally, I watched that happen to people. And it was crazy to know that I watched it. And it happened in my own family too. I was pretty much a product of situations like that. So yeah, it was very complicated.
Thank you for sharing. So coming up, what were the roles of your parents in the household?
They didn't have any because they weren't there. So my actual birth parents was not in my household. So my dad came back in my household. Well, he didn't come in my household, but my dad came back in my life when I was 11. About 11 or 12. My mom gave me away when I was 3 months old to my godmother. And so my actual parents did not have a place in my household.
What about your caregivers?
My caregivers, I was raised by my grandma because everybody else was caught up in the streets. Everybody else was on drugs. Wow. Down to like my teenage sister.
Wow. And that's the next question I actually have. Do you have any siblings?
So my biological siblings, I never met my biological siblings through my mom or my dad. So my dad's children were left in Jamaica and he never really went back. He would go back, but he wouldn't take me. So I only talked to him on the phone. I never met my actual siblings through my mother from like never seen them. Never ever seen them in my life. Seen pictures. I've seen like 2 pictures of my siblings, but I've never seen them. So the people that I grew up around that I call my siblings, I was they were so much older than me. They kind of like had like an auntie, uncle roles in my life at first. And then that completely switched over when I became a teenager. And it was like, I was the more mature one. I became like the big sibling. You know what I mean? And So, and that's how it is to this day. So I still have one left, which is my sister. And it's like, I'm the mature one. I'm the one who got to figure things out, So the roles were switched. She literally went from being my mom to my child.
Wow. Oh, wow. Where do you usually, like, out of all your siblings, so where do you fall in the lineage? Like, because you're not the oldest.
Oh, I was the youngest.
Youngest.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I was the baby, and that's what I'm saying. It switched when I became a teenager to me being the more mature one. And then when I got a little bit older, it went from my sister took care of me as a baby. Okay. And then now I'm the one that she relies on so she went from being my mom to being like the little sister or my kid in a way.
Yeah. So coming up in the household in your childhood, did you have any chores at home?
Absolutely. Half the time it didn't get done unless we did it.
Like, what was a chore that you tried to shy away from? What was a chore that you didn't mind stepping up to?
I didn't mind stepping up to help my grandma cook. I was shy away from a lot of them because remember, I lived in grandma's house. So that means everybody came through. So that means that I was cleaning up after everybody.
Consistently.
So now, you know what? I'm backtrack just a little bit. So I didn't have any siblings that I would say I grew up with as siblings, but my nieces and nephews were so close to me in my age that we grew up as sisters and brothers. Yeah. But they never introduced me as anything past their aunt. You get what I'm saying? So they will always introduce me as aunt. They don't call me aunt, but if you was to ask them who I am, oh, that's my Aunt Aisha. You know what I mean? So, because my sister had a baby when she was like 16. So my niece is 2 years younger than me. And then I have another niece that's like 4 years younger, So we grew up in the house. It was 4 of us and we were like siblings. But my role to them was really the big sister. You know what I mean? So, yeah, but technically they weren't my siblings, but they were the closest thing to siblings I had.
Hey, I got something like that. So I absolutely understand. Yeah. We kind of
like I said, it is complicated.
we get that. You good? So
it is so complicated.
If the chores were not done, if you didn't meet your quota and get it done, how were you disciplined or redirected as a child?
I didn't really get in trouble for chores, to be honest. We got in trouble for other stuff, but I really didn't get in trouble for chores. But let's say I would have, if I could remember anything of maybe my grandma telling me to do something and I didn't do it, she would yell at us, but it wouldn't go too deep where, we got like real bad beatings over chores.
Yeah. Okay. How do you feel about your education in life?
I'm actually satisfied with my education, and I'm still growing and I'm still learning, so it's ongoing. It's ongoing because my education is outside of the actual school realm, so you got the education of life that got me so far. You got my education in the military, which, opened my eyes up to a whole world, a whole different, so many different cultures and stuff like that. So I'm educated on a lot of different cultures that I wouldn't have came across if I would have stayed in Philly. I have, certificates and stuff like that, degrees and stuff, but.
Okay. What were and what are your beliefs?
Like religion beliefs or just belief in general? Okay.
In general.
So generally, I believe that when it comes to people, I just believe that you're just supposed to be good to people. You get what I mean? Just be a good person, be a good human. I believe that. Now, religion, I follow Christianity to an extent, but it's other religions that I can identify, that I can say I identify with because I like the way they do things. Mm-hmm. So, because I feel like it'll fit my life, So, in the way I want things to be later. But yeah, overall, I just want people to be just good people in general. I don't believe that you should treat somebody the way you want to be treated. I don't believe in that.
Okay. Okay. Well, y'all are listening to the makings of Wolf with Everythang Culture. Y'all make sure to tune in, get you something to sip on, whether that be water, coffee, or a little something different. And we're going into our next question. So, Wolf, who has been the biggest influence on your life?
My biggest influence, my dad.
Well, I love it.
My dad. My dad would be, I would say it was the biggest influence because of the fact that with, God funny, so I ended up going into a male dominated world.
Mm-hmm.
And so, my relationship with my only parent that I had was my dad. Like I said, he came back around when I was like 11 or 12.
Yeah.
So having your main influence being males, so it was my dad, and then I had my brothers, because I had a brother that was a little bit closer in age to me. So we kind of socialized a little bit more, and two of them, and so understanding men a little bit better helped me throughout my career. So I would say my biggest influence was my dad, because I literally still teach people lessons that my dad taught me, because a lot of people didn't have fathers. So I noticed that a lot of times I say stuff and I'm like, my dad said, I remember my dad telling me this and telling me that, because they never learned these lessons. I remember even one time having to tie a guy's tie on the ship because he never learned how to tie a tie.
Real.
So yeah, I would say my biggest influence was my dad, because it really helped me maneuver through life. And as a person, I would say my dad.
Shout out to Pops. I didn't learn how to tie a tie until I was 19, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Very important. So thank you. If you could recommend a book, a movie, and a television series, what would you recommend?
Okay. So it depends on what genre you mean, because, okay, so for books, I'm gonna always go to self-help.
Okay.
Self-help. And I would say it's a book, and it depends on who you're talking about. Okay, so
once again, this is the makings.
Okay, so I'm gonna tell you the reasons why I would recommend these books. All right, so I'm sure so many others, but Deepak Chopra, I freaking love Deepak Chopra.
I follow him on LinkedIn.
He has helped me become a better person on some real stuff. And probably because of his beliefs, his beliefs are kind of like, relax, chill out. It's not that serious. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of adopted some of those ways. So he has a book. Hold on, let me look at it. I can't remember the exact name of it, because it's two areas of the book.
Mm-hmm.
Well, another book I would recommend from recently is I love Will Smith's book. I love Will Smith's book. It's so many lessons in there, especially because I will always go back to the absence of fathers, and it was so many things he learned from his dad that if a lot of men read those books, they could learn a lot of stuff, and they could make their lives a whole lot easier.
Okay.
Hold on, I'll tell you.
No problem. But Deepak Chopra, Will Smith. Don't forget you got your movie and series too.
I know. A movie. Okay, so the 7 spiritual laws for parents. If you're a parent, I would say, look at that book. Another book is The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. So if you're in a career, if you're like in corporate America, I would say that one, and How to Make Friends and Influence People, because they will help you understand your upper leadership in the corporate world, because a lot of games get played with them, but what they don't realize is that all these leaders read the same thing, and they all working pretty much on the same curriculum. So if you can understand how they think, it'll help people move a whole lot better in their careers, you know. So, but when it comes to books, I would just say like anything self-help by like Deepak Chopra. Like I love Deepak Chopra. And for us, a TV series, I like so many. I like so many.
I would say, like, think about like
maybe I can go back to it.
Okay, we can come back to that. Saying what you got a movie in mind?
A movie? Come back
to that too.
No. Well, yeah, I can, because I like a lot of movies, but it depends on what type of movie you're looking for.
I'm talking about this is the makings of Wolf. I mean, like if you leaving something.
Oh, my go-to movies will always be romantic movies. Because I am a hopeless romantic, so it'll always be romantic movies.
Okay. Let me fix my face. All right.
I know, right? I am an onion, man. I am an onion.
All right. Well, let's keep peeling. If you can call 3 people, whether that you know them, that you never met them before, if they are here on this earth or not of this earth any longer, who would you call?
If I can call 3 people, I would most definitely call my dad.
Okay.
I wonder what I'm calling these people for.
Whatever. It's just you got a free conversation. Whatever you want to talk to them, ask them, and they'll respond to you. And you know,
okay.
That's what we say in my culture. We go chop it up. You know.
All right. So I'm gonna call my dad. Somebody like Steve Jobs.
Okay. So we got your father, Steve Jobs. You know, okay. I'm with it. Okay. Got somebody with, you know, somebody established, you know, okay.
I'll get back to you.
Okay. We gonna come back for a few. I ain't gonna forget about it. Let you know that.
Okay, I will. I should write it down.
I got you.
Okay.
Trust me.
All right.
What has been an impactful moment in your life?
An impactful moment. Okay, so I remember when I had to leave college, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I called my dad and I told him I was going to have to leave. And he was like, like, why? And I told him, okay, the cost of the school. And he was like, well, how much more do we gotta pay or whatever? And I said, Dad, don't worry about it, because what I don't want you to do is killing yourself trying to pay for this. I said, and then honestly, I don't even really know if I really want to be here anymore. So 2 days later, my dad, I was in Philly. My dad lives in Philly. I was in school in North Carolina. My dad was there to pack up my room, and took me back home. The reason why that impacted me so much was because of the fact that I later realized when I got older, I was like, my dad was an hourly wage worker. And it didn't impact me at the time. It did later on.
Yeah.
My dad was an hourly wage worker. Pretty much a day later, he got up and he drove his behind 9 hours to come and pick me up to bring me home. And, and my dad dropped me off at school and everything like that. And so what it showed me was, and something I always knew, is that he just didn't make excuses. It wasn't like, I can't get off work, So what it did was it made me look at the way I dated. And it made me understand, like, when a man wants something, when he wants to make something happen, he's going to make it happen. You know what I mean? And so I I just always look at that situation like my dad made no excuses. He didn't give me nothing that I got to come home. He just made it happen. And so it kind of gave me a sternness throughout my life and relationship. And I try to tell people the same thing. And, you know, I tell guys this, I tell girls this. When a man want to do something, he just going to do it. It's not going to be no excuses. So my dad was a no excuse type of man. So that impacted me a whole lot because when I meet people that want to make certain types of excuses, I'm like, nah, if you wanted to do it, you wanted to do it. So I would look at that situation like, yeah, you know, that kind of carried me. You know, it's one of the things that I hold on to, and it helps me weed out certain people.
Relationships and things. Mm-hmm. Absolutely understand. All right, thank you. If you had a theme song, what would it be?
It would probably be gospel. It would be something gospel.
Okay.
And I think one of my favorite songs is Yolanda Adams' "Be Blessed," because I just want great things for everybody all the time. So I just want everybody to be blessed. So I would say that would be my theme song. Like if you know, I just want everybody to be successful. I want everybody to be happy, stimulated. You know what I mean? So I just want people to be blessed across the board. So I would say if I came through and people heard something and I left and they still heard it, I want them to know to be blessed. So I would say be blessed. That's like one of my favorite songs from Yolanda Adams.
Okay. And you hey, what does it say? You know the assignment. I can't even think what it say. It's like you did it. It's like when your theme song is like when you walk around, other people just hear that song play when you come into a room and things. Yeah. You know, love it. Okay, how do you define joy?
Joy is overwhelming. Like joy can be like, it could be so overwhelming that it look like sadness. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So like, I would say like, okay, when I had my son, that was a joy. You know what I'm saying? It was, but of course it looked like a sadness. It looked like exhaustion, of course. but it was a joyous moment. A joyous moment when, you know, I, you know, graduated or from different things. Do you know what I'm saying? And my family showed up, or oh, and I was just talking to my aunt about this. My uncle, okay, he was the oldest person in my family. He passed away at 98, and this was a couple of years ago. But for some reason, I don't know how, but I was kind of always in communication with my uncle. You ever had one of those family members that come around every once in a while? You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But yeah, and so my uncle was that guy. So he used to go fishing all the time, and he would bring my grandma fish. Okay, I hope it's not too long-winded, but anyway. So my uncle J.E.
the makings of wolf.
So my uncle J.E. When I realized that my uncle house was near my high school, I used to go in and check on him because they was older. Him and his wife, they were older. So I would go past sometimes and check on them or whatever. And when I would come to Philly and stuff, I would go and, you know, check on him every once in a while and take him, make sure I sent him pictures of me and my son and everything. And for some reason, I don't know why, but something God put on my spirit one time and was like, throw him a birthday party.
Oh.
I don't know why I wanted to throw him a birthday party, but I did. And so I was in Virginia and I just organized everything from Virginia and got my friend, she made like cute little cake. She made him like a fishing cake or whatever. And I bought everything. Like I ain't asked nobody for no help. Like I organized everything myself from Virginia and had all my family there. And my family normally everybody don't get together the way we did, except for like funerals and stuff. But it was so many generations room that time for my uncle for a celebration. It was a joy. It's a joy to even look at the pictures of it. Because for one, nobody in my family has even pictures with my uncle except on his birthday. his birthday party.
Wow.
And the thing about it is, everybody was like, "Y'all not gonna get him out the house. He's not leaving the house. He don't leave." And I just had a confidence like he'll leave for me, and he did. And he gave me a little pushback, but he left for me. And so it was such a joy because now I look at those pictures like nobody ever had pictures with Uncle J.E. He was the oldest member of our family. He was always so distant, but I threw him that birthday party, and do you know he said it was the only birthday party he ever had in his life?
I was about to say that. I would. That's how I was believing. I said that's probably the most amount of someone threw a celebration just for him.
Yes, because his kids were gone. You know what I mean? So, and then he was older. Nobody celebrated. They surely didn't celebrate men the way men are way more celebrated now than what they was back in the day. You know what I'm saying?
There's no.
Huh?
Trust me, we had this conversation on the show. It's like,
oh, for real? Oh, okay.
Oh my goodness.
So men are way more celebrated now. So I know my uncle didn't get parties and stuff. Like women throw big parties and give big gifts to their boyfriends and husbands and stuff. Now they didn't do that back in the day because plus women ain't had no money. So that was such a joyous time because I know nobody ever celebrated Uncle J.E.
I got a question because my grandfather, like, I come from a family of J.E., J.D.s, J.C. What did the J.E. stand for?
James Earl.
Okay.
So you want to know a funny thing about initial names?
Please let us know.
My son's father was an initial name. He was from Georgia. His name was letter J, letter C.
Mm-hmm.
And so and he's my age. He's not no old man. So
but did the JC stand for anything?
So when I got pregnant and my brother was like, "Oh, are you naming?" So everybody called my son father Jason. You naming the baby after Jason? I said, "Well, we made a decision that if it's a girl, he wanted me to name it. If it's a boy, he named it." And my brother and I was like, "I hope he don't." Like my brother said, "Well, that's a man. A man is always supposed to have the right to have a junior." Child. When I called that man, I said, "You figured out a name for the baby yet?" He said, and I'm calling him like. Don't let it be lettuce. Please don't name my baby lettuce.
but the letters come from something, right?
Yeah, exactly. But the birth certificate says
it just okay. See, like my grandfather is just JD.
Yeah.
That's it. Nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
Like his brothers, everyone else, they had like the initials, but they stood for something.
Yeah.
And nobody know what JD stand for. My grandfather been gone over 20 years, and it's like
the biggest mystery in the family.
Man, but I think it was just JD. I don't know if they like he was born in 1918. It was like one of them.
So basically, your call would be to your great grandmother, like, what was JD?
Man, I don't see. Oh, don't get me started on me because this is the makings of Wolf. Don't bring me into it right now because
can we go back to who else I would call?
Absolutely, let's pull it back.
Okay.
There you go.
If I could call anybody, it would be my sister. My biological sister.
The sister.
Yeah, I don't know. How did I forget that? I literally was about to hire a private investigator to find her. But yeah, it was my sister.
Oh my good. Love it. Thank you. So it's your father, Steve Jobs, and your sister.
No, it's not Steve Jobs. I'm probably going to come across somebody else. But
okay, well, we go throw Steve Jobs in there. All right. Okay, so you got one more.
I know.
Okay.
Sorry.
We love it. We love it. We love it. Once again, y'all, this is the makings of Wolf with Everything Culture Podcast. Y'all make sure to just tune in. We having a good ride right here and enjoying this. I'm glad I'm doing it. I'm finding out so much about you. Your TikTok don't really present.
No, that's just
you are onion. You are.
That is the small. That's the side. Like I said, a funny side or whatever. I have some stuff, but the funny side. But that's how I am. I like to play all day.
I see, but I
laugh at stuff that is not supposed to be laughed at.
But we appreciate it though. So on to our next question: what privileges do you benefit from?
I benefit from the privilege of being charismatic. So everybody ain't able. You know what I mean? So
let them know.
So, but if when people talk about privileges now, they talk about race privileges and stuff like that, when being a woman or stuff like that. So I can say sometimes I can benefit from the privilege of being a woman if I know how to use it in the right way. So maybe it's manipulation. I don't know, but I would say it's a privilege because I was born a woman. So maybe it's manipulating, but having a good personality can get you far. It can get you indoors. That education, sometimes even certain relationships can't. So having a good personality can do that. Sorry,
you're fine. And what areas do you need to heal?
Do I need to heal? It's okay. So I don't want to sound perfect because I wasn't, but I've done a lot of work. I've done a lot of therapy. I've listened to a lot of inspirational people, a lot of self-help type things. So I don't need to heal from anything because I've forgiven myself for mistakes that I made already. I have forgiven and I understood the decisions that my family made, that maybe may not have the greatest. So I don't need to heal from anything. I don't because of my understanding of people. Once you understand people, it's like you can't get hurt, damage from certain things because you understand why it happened. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, like I say, the more I understood people, I understood why my dad was the way he was. I understood why my mom did what she did. I understood why, you know what I'm saying? So, and I understood why, even when it came to my parenting, it's things that I'm not the happiest about of the way of what I did or how I handled things. I understood why I did it and I fixed it. So I don't have anything else to heal from because once you get people and you understand people, you kind of can't get hurt or damaged from certain things.
Love it. And that's one of the reasons why we do the makings of you and everything culture, that you get to understanding of people.
Now, you'd asked me this 10 years ago. 5 years ago.
Hey, it's growth. That's why I expect people to be.
But I've done a lot of work. I have done a lot of work, like intentional.
Yes, love it, love it, love it. When did you realize you were different?
I mean, I was different in my household because I wasn't related to everybody, like bloodline, So I always knew I was different there. But I didn't realize how deep, like I guess you could say DNA is. Like, I mean, it's deep, but people say, people do things because it's the way what they saw or something like that. There was a lot of shit that I saw growing up that I just didn't become it. Yep. And I think it was because it wasn't in my DNA. You know what I mean? Like,
it's that juggle between nature versus nurture.
Yeah. So my natural way that I was, because I had a different mother and dad and family. Like, I never knew them, never learned nothing from them, but I had ways of my mom, even though my mom didn't raise me. You get what I'm saying? Now, I knew of my mom, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that, but so we go into that later, but I always knew I was different in my household, even though I didn't want to be. I grew up and had a dad going, dysmorphia, I guess you could call it a dysmorphia, of the way I looked because I didn't look like everybody else. Like, but I thought I was dark. And some people, I've seen something on TikTok and this girl was like, I am not light skinned, I am dark skinned. She was like my complexion. But she grew up in a household with all really pale people. So to her, she grew up with people saying she was the dark one. So to her, she was dark skinned, but she was like my complexion. I know I'm not dark skinned, but I know I ain't light skinned. But because everybody else was dark skinned, like when I tell you everybody in my house was dark skinned. When my grandma would call me red or something like that, I would get so offended. I would be so mad. And I thought she was being just so mean to me because I am not red. I had red hair, but I know exactly. But listen, I didn't realize it until I grew up that that it was something going on in my head that I thought I was dark skinned.
You may be putting yourself. We're going to have an episode about body dysmorphia in this upcoming season. Like,
is that a body dysmorphia?
Well, body dysmorphia, I think that would go in the same category. Body, it's like if you're thinking that you're overweight, but you're really, 120 pounds and you're, 5'9". Now,
I experienced that before, but
I think it goes into the same category. If you
do, oh, okay. Well, yeah. So,
and that's something I'm learning too. This is something I'm still learning. I didn't know much about body dysmorphia until like 4 years ago, but the experience thinking you something and what society believe you are. That's why it's going to be a series about the beauty standard, because I did not know that in the Japanese in Japan that they have colorism. I had someone that is lighter than my palm, and she say she was dark skinned. I'm like, where? Like,
when I was in Japan, I used to have a hard time. I used to have to make sure I really paid attention to the beauty products because they all had whitening in them.
See, right there.
Yeah.
These are things that it comes from conversations like these. So once
again, I knew I was different, really, really young, because no matter what people did in my house, I didn't agree with a lot of it. So I knew I was different because it didn't make sense to me. And I knew I was different because I hated my hair because everybody had like that nice 3C curly stuff. You wetted it, curl all up, all cute. My hair was nappy.
That's gonna be a part of that series too.
Yeah. So I knew I was different in that way. I knew I was different because like other people looked alike. I didn't look like nobody else. Besides my skin color, like I didn't. Some people when they are raised around somebody or somebody, they start looking like them. Yeah. I didn't start looking like I'm lying. I favored my cousin Lisa, but that was the only person. But I didn't live in a house with her. I think that was just a matter of us being Black people. You know what I mean? But for the most part, like I didn't look like nobody else. I didn't think like my family. I still don't. And they were the only family I knew. So I knew from a girl that I was different.
Wow, love it. And once again, thank you for sharing. Thank you for being transparent with us. And how you feeling?
I feel good. Okay. Another time, I just hope I ain't talking too much.
No, you're not.
Okay. And another time I knew I was different. You know how women be like, I ain't like these other chicks. When they really be like them.
No, I don't know about anything about that at all.
You know it. But, women to say that, but I know that I'm not like other people. I know that I'm not. I've had it said to me so many times. And then when I look at, especially in my demographic and coming from where I'm from, just the pure presence of, my father made me different. It made me look at things differently. It made me accept and not accept certain things. It made my standards different. So, and like I say, my dad was Jamaican. So Jamaican men think they're supposed to be catered to or whatever. So it's a certain way of, especially me being from Philly and I was raised out from the South or whatever. My grandma was from the South. She was the only one. But, so it's certain things that I do because of the way my dad he ain't really tell me I had to, but he kind of like would say it sometimes or whatever. But yeah, I knew I was different in that way. And people who even know me, they be like, you don't really seem like you from Philly. Like, I'm like, yeah, I am. I wouldn't lie and say I was.
I don't know who said that. Like,
yeah, no, a lot of people and people from Philly, they be like, you don't seem like you from North Philly. Yeah, I am.
I gotta link you with my homegirl. She's another podcaster. Shan from She Gets It Pod. She's also come from Jamaican descent, and she's from Philly. And I find that so interesting. I said I just put that link together, and like,
oh really?
the similarities are so wild on that. And y'all too are. Well, I would say, when you say, I really would say you don't act like a lot of women that I know. Not all women, but like the majority. And she's the same way. Because she has a very different thought process on many things. She wild though. Like, but it was again. I'm getting to know you a little bit. But hey, let's get back to Wolf. Let's get back to Wolf. So, Wolf, how does your family celebrate or recognize death? And that question is really, I try to be a little bit more specific with this one. And when I say celebrate or recognize, like funeral processions, how does it happen in your family, in your culture?
Oh, it's the, the funeral, the repast.
Once again, I'm gonna be, because this is like, you may be the third, fourth person.
Oh, a church or a funeral home funeral.
Yeah, because think about somebody across the world listening to this. They never been.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right. So I'll start from the beginning.
Yes.
Somebody died. My brother passed away. Of course, people in the community will start coming to rally around people in my family. Then we'll have my brother had a funeral home funeral. Other people has had church funerals. Both my brothers had funeral home funerals. So we have the funeral home. They have the service. Everybody view the body. One of my brothers was buried. And in Philly, you bury underground. I know some places they only bury above ground. In Philly, it's underground. But some people do buy those big, is it called a mausoleum?
Yeah.
Big things.
Yeah.
And they put their family in those. So no, we didn't have that. It's an underground burial. And my other brother, he had an actual funeral with the viewing and everything. And so did my father, a viewing and all of that. And then he was cremated. And then after the funeral, the actual viewing and everything, everybody goes back to a house or a community center or something like that, which in my family, it was normally like the community center in my neighborhood that we would use, and everybody eat, socialize and everything like that, and then go their separate ways.
All right. Thank you. And I want to add this to our listeners. When more and more I talk to people that we all have different ways of burial.
Yeah.
Even here in America, and different traditions.
Yes.
And like I had this argument before, which is better, baby shower meatballs or funeral chicken. I'm going with the funeral chicken, man. It's just something different. I don't know if that the tears make it taste better or what. But it's just like that the amount of love come in and that support. But thank you for sharing. Going to our next question. Let's see. Who do you trust?
So I trust first, and then I let people prove that they can't be trusted. So I guess I could say initially I trusted everybody, unless I was able to see something about you to make me not trust you. Okay, so if I met you, say, okay, my real life is I meet a guy on a dating site and we go out on a date. I trust him right from the gate, right? I'm cautious a little because that's just nature, but I trust him right from the beginning. If I start seeing him, say I start dating him, I trust him from the beginning. I don't go in looking for negatives, okay? But as far as my work is concerned, right? I'm prejudged according to the way I seen you move because I was probably able to observe you. So I may not trust that person, but everybody else, if I never got an opportunity to observe anything about you, I trust first. I trust everybody first.
All right, love it. What are you responsible for?
right now, I'm gonna say I'm responsible for myself, of course, but my son is on his way to high school, so I'm responsible for trying to help him focus in on his vision and his, my part in his life or whatever. So I'm responsible for that. I'm responsible for what he see right now from a woman. I'm responsible for his mental health right now, as far as whatever I can contribute to it. But when it comes to people, I'm responsible for that person. And I'm responsible for this person. And I'm responsible for my overall vision for my life and who I will be looked at in my death. And I made that a responsibility of myself probably about 10 years ago. And so I can't remember. Oh my God, I'm ad-libbing like a mug right now. But it was something in reference to being immortal, like making sure your presence is impactful in some type of way. That's the key to immortality. I can't remember who said it, whatever. Don't even get me there. I'm not a philosopher, but
the future question was like, what's a quote that you live by? But we gonna have to use that one. But I like that one though.
Okay, yeah. So it's always, I think it was Maya Angelou that people sometimes won't remember what you said. They remember how you made them feel. And so I remember always making sure that I try to give people something that they can carry, because especially if I'm able to keep put any time into you, put something into you that you'll continue to always teach other people. And so I'm responsible for that. I'm responsible for being a good human so that I can make sure that when I leave your space, it was impactful in some way, and that I didn't do anything intentionally, because I can't control how you feel, but I didn't intentionally do anything to make you feel bad or something like that. You know what I mean?
Absolutely know what you mean. I'll tell you that right now. Okay. In your biopic, who would you want? Who would you want to play you? And you cannot play yourself.
Oh, Raven-Symoné.
Raven. Okay. Shout out to Raven-Symoné. Okay.
Yeah.
If you ever listen to this, Raven, we should have a conversation one day.
Like, Raven-Symoné. And I think she is Sagittarius. I'm not 100% sure.
She is.
Oh, she is? I think she is Sagittarius. And when I was coming up, like, maybe older pictures of me, maybe when I was thinner, used to always say I like Raven-Symoné.
I had the biggest crush on Raven-Symoné.
Yeah, people used to say I favorite Raven-Symoné. And I think if it made sense, if somebody was to play me, it would be Raven-Symoné, because we favor and our personalities are somewhat up, and she has an unorthodox way of thinking the same I do in a way. So because she got some very controversial ways of thinking, and she say it out loud and people hear it. I do too, but I don't say it to everybody. She's just she's open to be able to do that. But if I was to say anybody, it'd be Raven-Symoné.
Hey, what's that meme? That's your man. I'm gonna stand by him. That's how with Raven. I'm like, I'm gonna stand by it.
I'm gonna sit beside him. Because a lot of people, they don't get it. Like, I get where you're coming from, girl. I know I get where you're coming from. I get it, but it's too much for some people. But I kind of get some of the stuff where she be coming from. She may not explain it the best way.
That's what I'm saying. See, okay? That's what I'm thinking. That's the thing.
She may not explain it the best way, but I get where she's come. I get it.
I can get it too, but I'm like, but you're wrong. You know what I mean? Somebody can say something. I'm like, I see your perspective and what you're trying to express, but you're wrong. You know what you're saying? You shouldn't, what people were saying with Kanye. Well, Kanye said that, but he wrong. That's the point. Yeah. When you say
now, if it's a proven way to show that a person is wrong, factually, yes. But I get where they come, what they mean.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah,
Hey,
I get it.
love it.
And she would embody me because, like, you know, far as the way we look, we like basically, we even shape the same. You know what I'm saying? Like, it would be Raven-Symoné.
Let me tell you, I'll watch your biopic. You got me. I'll watch.
Oh, and you want to know something funny? So I remember my niece used to always say I look like Raven-Symoné. So when I had my son, she looked at my son and she was like, "Oh, this would it look like when Raven-Symoné and Plies have a baby, right? This what it would look like."
Plies.
Because she used to say my son father looked like Plies.
I said that makes sense.
And he sounds just like him because they from like 30 minutes apart.
Lord.
So they sound just alike. So so her homegirl was like, Raven-Symoné had a baby with Plies? Oh my God. She was like, no, I'm talking about my aunt. Like,
Y'all are true. That's how rumors get started right there.
Right.
Right there. Okay. If you were wealthy, if you was rich, money was not an issue in your life. That was not a problem. But you had to have a job. You still had to do something.
Mm-hmm.
But you get to pick what you do.
Mm-hmm.
What would you want to do?
I would own a spa.
Spa.
I would own a chain of luxury spas, and I would position them in places where people are not allowed to luxuriate because it's kind of it's not much of it. So
yeah.
When I was growing up, I didn't see women like this realm of like luxury that I'm seeing Black women do now. I love it because I didn't. The closest thing to like real self-care I ever seen women do was like go get their nails and feet done and their hair done. You know what I mean? But no, when I became an adult and I was able to start going to spas and stuff in my 20s and, you know, get massages and all of that and have that type of time, I feel like people need that. And so it would be to have a spa, and I would put it in like in cities, and, you know, I would have a chain of them, and they would be very, very low priced. And, you know, and I would just have like events for women and stuff like that. And another thing I would do in reference to that same spa situation, I would have one for men because I feel like it's a huge lack of mentorship and counseling in our community, and self-care for men, like it don't even exist. So because I feel like, you know, that's the backbone, that's the bottom line backbone, you know. And so I feel like, you know, getting to them boys and, you know, the men, and it's not going to be a spa, but it's just a place for them.
Yeah. And
that place will offer counseling, mentorship, and stuff like that. So it would be the self-care for women, you know, but it would still be spiritual and everything like that. And most definitely a space for men. And that would include the self-care too, you know, teaching them how to take care of themselves, you know, physically and mentally.
Wow. Love it. What would you name this?
For the females, I would say maybe something like The Great Escape or something like that.
The Greatest Escape. Okay.
Yeah. And for the men, maybe something like, you know, what is it called? Like The Clubhouse or something like that. You know, something similar to like,
We'll make it work.
You know, The Man Cave or Man Train, something like that. You know what I'm saying?
We'll figure it out. I love it. I love
it. It would be something in reference to that because, like, I call, you know, like my son's time with his dad, I always called it man training. You know what I'm saying? So it would probably be something in reference to that. I always called it man training. Whenever he was with his dad, I'm like, they're like, "Where Chris man training?"
Mentorship. Okay, let me say.
Boy, you got it.
I'm good at a few things, you know. I'm pretty good, but I love that.
Yeah, but it would be something in reference to that because I feel like that was always a missing thing, and I'm just like, you know, when people used to be like, okay, even when I see it now, I just don't, like, it's not even funny to me anymore. Like the Mean Black Mom, it was like Mean Black Mom was just so undercared for. You know what I'm saying? So
what you're saying, I love it, and I'm big on making things happen, especially where these are located to. Location is so important, you know.
The location is 100% important. So it would most definitely be in underserved areas.
I used to say I wanted to open up a salon and have the salon to be open at certain hours when women got off of work. So it'd be like from 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. You know, those are the hours. Yep. So, you know, I don't know why that haven't happened yet, but go ahead.
I got another one.
Yes.
After hours childcare.
After hours childcare. Ooh, now, Lord, don't get me started on that. That's gonna be different. Let me tell you that.
Well, a 24-hour childcare service.
No, I feel you.
24-hour childcare services for sure.
Some people ain't coming back to get their kids, but
but you hire people for different times.
I know. But we're gonna jump back to one of our previous questions. What's a movie that you would recommend, and what's a television series that you'll recommend?
I like all kinds of stupid stuff.
What's the one that you think? Hey,
I love Game of Thrones. Oh, and it was another show that I remember watching. It was called The Rain. And I watched that on Netflix.
And it was like a foreign movie. It was a foreign television.
It was about like medieval times, but it was like that time frame. Or whatever.
The Rain, like The Rain, IGN.
Okay. I like those because it was a lot of stuff that even could apply today that was in those movies. Like if you really break those down, you know. But it would be that, and
I could talk about some Game of Thrones, man.
Yeah, I love Game of Thrones.
It took me like all the way to halfway through the middle of season 2, and I realized y'all really killed the daddy, huh? Y'all really did that. Y'all, that was a cold. That was something hard to swallow because he was a real one. And it was hard when you find a character that you really like, and I'm like,
okay, man. So we're not going to do this because we will go down a rabbit hole, and this thing will never end.
You're right. So we're gonna stop that right there.
I'm fighting the urge to not say something about Game of Thrones right now.
Right, we're gonna cut it. We'll come back to it in the future. Another discussion. But this is the makings of Wolf. So Wolf, give us a movie that you would recommend for people to watch.
I don't know.
Okay.
I have no idea.
It's okay. Let's see. When was the last time you cried?
Oh, I cried the other day when I watched This Is Us.
Oh my gosh. That's
one thing I'm gonna do is cry when I watch This Is Us, okay?
One of my homegirls recommended me to watch, begged me to watch This Is Us. And when I tell you,
Randall Pearson is the greatest person on the planet. Like him and that daddy.
I didn't finish the first season. Let me tell you why I stopped watching. I stopped watching on the Christmas episode when the sister's boyfriend had to go to the hospital for a heart attack or something, and they ended it. And I said, because I didn't know if he lived or died. I said, if he died, I'm not watching it. Like, I don't even want to know. I'm just gonna pretend like he lived and just keep going. I haven't watched the episode since. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna put myself through that. Every episode, I'm crying. I don't have to.
Yes, everyone. Jack Pearson is one of the best people on the planet. How is him and Randall so great? Like, TV show. This Is.
Okay, there you go. That's crazy. Game of Thrones and This Is Us. Oh, that's crazy. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. You had an option. Would you rather go back in time and talk to your younger self, or would you rather your future self come into now and talk to you now?
Future. Because if I go back to my younger self, it might be certain things that I might not do to put me where I am. But at the same time, I probably would tell her to start investing in Google, Tesla, and I'm gonna go back to younger me.
I said,
like, no, not my younger self.
Well, younger you even listen to you though. That's the other thing.
Yes. That's how I became. Like, I was always like told I was like really mature because I listened to people. That's why my healing wasn't hard, and I was able to get over something because I listened. So yeah, I would listen.
Okay, side note. I know this is the making of Wolf, y'all, but little advice from Drake. I'm Mr. B713. When you're able to be young and listen, oh my gosh, it's such a benefit in life. I'll tell you that. Such a benefit.
Yeah, but I would have listened. I would have really followed my mentorship. I mean, I still follow and do things. I had older girlfriends when I was younger. Okay, my friends were like easily like 10 years older than me sometimes. Mm-hmm. And I still go by that they taught me.
Love it. Okay. On to our next question. How do you relax?
I do nothing.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
The spa or just laying in my bed. But yeah, I do nothing.
Okay. And what is a quote that you live by? I know we touched on it a little bit earlier, but can you repeat it for us?
I guess maybe I don't live by it because I don't know it verbatim, but it was, but it's just basically, I'm trying to remember it word for word. But I know for sure one of them is, people will often forget what you say, but remember how you made them feel. And, like I say, maybe it's not a quote I live by because I don't remember it verbatim, but I just...
A quote that you stand by. Listen to that.
Yeah, I'll stand by that. Is that, when you lose, don't lose the lesson.
I like that.
And, gosh, I can't remember it, but it basically is the key to immortality is, educating people, making them better in some way. You know what I mean? So as long as I can do something to help advance your life in some way, shape, or form to make you better, I'll live on forever. You know what I mean? So, because hopefully you'll take that and pass it on to somebody else.
Okay. Phone call. You got one more call to make.
I got one more.
Got your father, your sister. Who else would you like to have a conversation with?
I don't know. I'm going to think about it.
Okay. It's like, hey, like I said, I come back to it. That's how I was coming back to it. So, all right. My favorite question. This is your last meal. What would it be and who would prepare it for you?
Oh, my last meal? I want some turkey.
Turkey. Really? Okay.
I want some turkey. I want some fried chicken.
Okay.
I'm making it because I make really good fried chicken. I want some potato salad, and I want Vivian to make it because she makes some good ass potato salad.
Okay, Vivian. Hold on. Is it with mustard, mayo, Miracle Whip? Is it like
it's
sweet?
Mustard and mayo.
Okay.
Mustard and mayo. I want me a platter from the Shed in Mississippi.
The Shed in Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I want some baked macaroni and cheese and some yams and some collard greens.
Who's making that? Who's making that?
Who gonna make my? Let me see. Besides mine, I'm trying to think of some real good. I had. My grandma's mac and cheese was always bomb. And I can stand on that because you know how sometimes when you're younger, you think food good till you get it somewhere else. But no, her stood the test of time.
Same. I know my family can cook. No,
yeah, exactly.
Thankful I'm married into one that can cook too.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so my greens, my Aunt Mickey would make my greens. She made good ass greens.
Okay.
My sushi would be the spot in Hampton, Virginia. I used to go and get sushi from, so they would make my sushi.
Okay, spot in Hampton. All right. We got 3 more questions for you.
All right.
What's your favorite holiday?
My birthday.
I'm talking about.
My favorite holiday.
Did I ask you? Did I miss a question?
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving. Trust me, about the food that you were putting together. I like.
Yeah, Thanksgiving or Christmas.
Okay. Did I ask you your sign?
No, but we said it. I'm a Sagittarius.
Yeah, that's all my advice. Yeah. That's a known question, but we talked about it. We sure did. Okay. How would you want people to remember you?
I would want people to remember me for being caring, for being real, because I am very real. For being living, for making. I would want them to remember that I tried my best. The one thing I want my son to remember for sure is that look, we tried our best and always did what we felt was in his best interest. Yeah, so that's what I would want people to know, that I was real with them, that I everybody. Yeah, that's about it.
All right, and our last small, maybe series of questions, but what changes do you want to see, and what changes are you bringing to your culture?
One of the changes I want to see in ours is like the way people parent. It's a lot of stuff we gotta let go. So what I bring to it is, I share the things that I learned and stuff like that. And when I say the way they parent, it is the way they deal with their children and the way they deal with their co-parents, whether it's your husband, your baby daddy, baby mama, whatever, however you want to put it. Because I think that makes a huge difference. Because it instilling certain things in people, especially the good stuff, it makes a difference in our overall community. You know what I mean? So it starts. So one of the things that I would like to see, that I'm most definitely doing, is change the way I parented. And I made a very conscious decision to make sure with certain things that my son saw in the way we parent him, so that he can, have an idea of how it might look, just in case he might end up in a situation. I pray he don't, but I would most definitely say the way we interact, especially when it comes to being parents to our kids.
Wow.
It would make a huge difference in our community. A huge difference.
In this discussion we will have in the future. So you done lined yourself up with numerous different episodes. You got to come back on and chop it up with us.
Bring me on. I want to be there.
We're going to have a panel of folks. So we're going to have fun and we're going to have some growth and we're going to make some progress. So, Wolf, you have made it through the makings of Wolf. Thank you. We greatly appreciate you.
Oh, it's like an hour and a half. Ooh, wow. Is it too long?
Nah, not no more. Trust me, the record's been set recently. So,
okay.
So for everyone that may be looking for Wolf, and if Wolf is trying to be found, where can the people find you on social media?
Wolf.Johnson on TikTok And my Instagram, shoot, what is my Instagram? Is my name. My Instagram is ny.esha_.
All right. There y'all have it.
Call me.
Hit her up. And y'all don't be no weirdos either. Y'all be cool. Y'all send us some love, Get to know her. She would be a future guest again on the show. So we want to say thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for tuning in to the makings of Wolf with Everything Culture. Y'all can find us on anywhere you listen to a podcast on a major platform, as well as you can find us at www.everythingculture.com. But if you want to see us, go to YouTube. You can see the faces. You can find us on all the social medias, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. We're out there. We appreciate the support. Come and interact with us. And yeah, we look forward to hearing from y'all soon. We want to say thank y'all so much. We appreciate you, and God bless. Peace.
Thank you.
Thank you, good people. It's your host, Drake, Mr. D713 with Everything Culture. Just letting you know, thank you. Thank you for listening to another episode of The Makings of You. We greatly appreciate your support. We look forward to more support in season 4. Make sure you check out www.everythingculture.com for our new merchandise, as well as check out all of our social media sites from Tumblr, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, and IG. We're all over. We greatly appreciate your support, and we look forward to seeing y'all in the next episode. Peace.